Hello, YouTube. It's your boy, the Crazy Trader. I'm here again with your favorite stock review. Like I always say, scared money don't make no money, and you always gotta risk it to get the biscuit. You guys know I'm not a professional financial advisor, so don't take my word for it. You always gotta do your due diligence, and this is just for educational and entertainment purposes only. So I'm just gonna dive right into it. My portfolio is trading sideways, 2% down today. I don't really care because it's been trading sideways for the past month. Up 1%, down 2%, up 2%, down 1%. It's like that. That's how I know my portfolio is really stable, because it's not, if it goes down one day, if it goes down 10% or 15%, then I know that I'm you know not weighted evenly. But now I'm really weighted evenly, so the portfolio is doing pretty well. um but some of, I think my biggest loss today was what I'm going to show you right now, which was in RVI. It was my biggest loss today, and I'm actually really disappointed, because it just IPO today, and I thought it was going to do pretty good. I actually bought 150 shares of it, hoping that when it goes up, I can sell 50 shares, right, and then keep the 100. But right out of the gate, you can see right out of the gate, man, right out of the gate, boom, dropped 10. I saw it, boom, 10% right out of the gate. So there's nothing I can do but hold on to it. I don't think it's a it's a bad fund. I think it's a great fund. If you don't know about the RVI fund, it's actually Robinhood fund that is letting retail traders get access to the private market. Okay, so if you're buying this, I don't know what to call it, an ETF or a fund. If you're buying, I'll call it a fund. If you're buying this fund, you're actually buying access into the private market. Most of the companies that this fund is going to invest in is going to be companies that are private. They are not even on the public market yet. They haven't been IPO'd. They are not on the NASDAQ or on the New York Stock Exchange. They are not anywhere yet. Okay. So as a retail investor or as a private person, you really can't go and invest in the private market, which is go and invest in OpenAI or Anduril or SpaceX. You can't really do that as a retail investor, because there are laws in place to protect you from losing your money. That's what they say. The rich, they actually can invest in that, but for people like you and me who don't have the millions of dollars already, we can't invest in companies like that are on the private market already. But this fund gives us access to companies that are on the private market. That's the basic, fundamental of it. Um, if you're not a risk taker, if you don't like the risk, don't really look at this fund. Don't even buy one single share of this fund. But if you want to take some risk, I personally want to. Most of the companies that they are investing in, I'm not really too excited about. I don't know, but that's my personal opinion. Okay, I'll show you the companies that they are investing in, but I'm not too excited about it. But I like the fund, and I want to be one of the pioneers when it comes to this fund. I bought the Robinhood IPO, and most of the things that they do, I really support it, because I think it's a great company. And some of the things that they do it directed at the retail investor, people like me and you who don't have 100 million somewhere, where venture capital can take 20 million invested for them. No, they are doing it for retail traders, which is us. So I like to invest in stuff like this, and I think it's a brilliant concept. It's an amazing concept. I'll show you what you invested. Also, I bought, okay, this real quick. I bought 150 shares of it at $25 a share. So I'm actually down 13.44%, which is which is some money, which is a lot of money. Am I worried about it? No, I'm not worried. I think by the time of most of these companies IPO, this is going to go up a lot, because some of the companies, I do know them, and I think it's a great concept. Okay, I'll show you the companies that they are investing in. You can see Databricks. Databricks are a great company. Re- Revolut. I really don't know too much about that. Mercor, I know a little bit about this. Airwallex. It's funny because I just watched a documentary about this company, and how Stripe wanted to buy them for like a 2 point something billion, and now is worth 8 point something billion already. Boom Supersonic. It's about this, airplanes that people travel. The travel industry, the airplane industry, that people are trying to get you from point A to point B faster. Aura is that little ring that they put on your hands. But, about Aura, I don't know, but I have a weird feeling about it, because I feel like what Aura can do, my Apple Watch can do. But hey, there are a lot of people out there who like the company, and they already have the ring on. I've seen a lot of people with the Aura ring. It's surprising because I think it's a little expensive, but people kind of like it. People have the money and they buy it. And then there's Ramp. I don't really know too much about this company either, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. So these are the companies that they are investing one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. At first, it was supposed to be eight. I think one company dropped off or something, or they weren't successful in getting that one company. And they have 19 point. I want to say 20% of cash, sitting down. So there's going to be 20% of cash where they'll be holding it. And I think maybe they'll be either getting into new companies, new private companies, or they'll be distributing the 20 eventually to some of these great companies. But we'll see what happens with whatever they want to do with the cash. I'm going to hold this for maybe a year or two until one or two of these companies IPO. I personally was going to sell 50 if it had gone up to like 35 or 40 and then kept 100, but I couldn't. So I'm just going to hold them and see how it behaves. That's going to be my own personal um, strategy for this fund, the Robinhood. But if you don't like to take any risks, please don't get into this fund because I think there's going to be growing pains, just like the way the IPO of Robinhood went from $38 all the way to $7 before it went all the way up. So there's going to be some growing pains. So if you don't like taking the risk, just sit on the sidelines and go do something else with your money. Um, so I wanted to see how much they raise. So I just, Google AI, they'll give you everything that you want. Their RVR fund raised 658.4 million. So from the initial videos that I watched, I remember them trying to raise $1 billion. I don't know if they fell short of it or if I want to believe that they fell short of the billion, okay, because that's what they originally said they were trying to raise at $1 billion. They were trying to raise $1 billion, but I want to believe they fell short. But 600, they made it more than half, about 65%, or I'll say 66% of what they initially wanted has been raised now. 658.4 million is this initial public offering. I priced at $25 per share for 12.6 million shares. The fund provides retail investors access to private high profile technology companies and has the potential to reach 705 million if underwriters exercise their full over allotment option. Yeah. So they've raised 658, has the potential to go up to 705 million. That's the most important thing. And the purpose is to offer retail investors exposure to private portfolio, including companies like Databricks, Ramp, and Revolut, which is good. It's geared towards the private, investor, which is the retail trader, get into the private market. So if you are interested in investing in companies that are still on the private market, they haven't been. Remember, these companies haven't IPO'd yet, so they are now going to IPO, and then their valuation is going to be added to this. It's a whole cumbersome maths, but we leave that for this fund, managers to do. But I want to believe if out of 4 out of 7 of these companies IPO and they do really well, there's you know venture fund is going to go up there. We can be looking at 35 $40 a share, which will be pretty nice or sick. So I'm going to hold that 150 shares and see how it goes. And I want to say if it falls more, maybe I might, kind of average down because I like the fund and I think they will do pretty well. So I might average down if it kind of falls more. 10-15%, I'm fine with it. If it goes down maybe 50%, I will average down. But I don't want to take too much of your time today. So have a great day and be safe. Peace.